Hey QR, today we're going to do measures of central tendency. What is that? That is different ways to find an average. The mean, median, mode, and mid-range are what we're going to look at today. Each is calculated differently and could yield you different results for the same data. Each will result in a number that is near the center of the data. For this reason, it is commonly referred to as the measure of central tendency. The first one is to take a mean. So in the formulas that you're going to see, you might see it look like this. This is X bar. This is going to be used for a sample mean. So when you have a population and then you take a sample and you find the mean of that, that is the symbol that is used. This is the Greek letter mu. This is used when you take the mean of the entire population. This, to find the mean, you're going to add up all the data. So you're going to take the sum of your data divided by the number of pieces of data that you used. So you might be asking, when is it appropriate to use mean, median, mode, mid-range? The mean, we will use that when all the data points contribute equally. And then we have the median. The median is the value in the middle. So in order to do that, we would have to put all the values in order from smallest to largest, and then we're going to play the cross-off game. We're going to find the value in the middle. If the median lands between two numbers, then basically we're going to find the mean of it. We're going to add them and divide by 2. We would use the median when outliers could skew the data. We have the mode. The mode is the one that occurs most often. We can have 2 modes, but no more. Actually, we would use this one for categorical data. If they were to say, what model of car do you like best? What flavor of soda do you like best? What flavor of ice cream do you like best? That is when we would use the mode. Then the last one is the mid-range. So you're going to have a bunch of data and you're going to take the lowest value plus the highest value and divide by 2. When would we use this? When we want to get a quick, simple estimate of the center point. That is when we would use the mid-range. So maybe we're going to have a boatload of values and we don't want to spend all day adding them up and then dividing them. We're just like, you know what? If I take the biggest and the smallest, add them and divide by 2, that's gonna get close enough to what I want to do. So on this one, we are going to take a bunch of data and we are going to, so I think this is called a box and whiskers plot, from what I recall. And we are going to separate them into quartiles. And so quartiles will divide the data into 4 equal parts. So Q1 puts it at the 25% mark, and that is going to be the lower quartile. Q2 is the 50% mark, and that is where the median is. That's the middle. Q3 is going to be the 75% mark, and this we would call the upper quartile. All right, so we have all these steps, and let's just get to it. So we have some people who walked, and somebody walked 8,500, 10,200, 7,800, 12,500, and 9,000. What is the mid-range of their daily step count? All right, so to find the mid-range, what do? Identify the highest and lowest value. We're going to add and divide by 2. So when I look at this, 7,800 is the lowest, and 12,500 is the highest. So I'm going to take the lowest value plus the highest value divided by 2. You can either add the numerator or stick the whole thing in your calculator all at once. The numerator adds up to 20,300. Divided by 2 is 10,150. So the mid-range of their steps is about 10,150. Here's a different kind of mean problem. A group of 5 friends went bowling. Their average was 125. If 4 of the scores were 110, 130, 128, and 132, what was the score of the 5th person? So when you find the average, or the mean, the average is the total scores divided by the number of scores. So in this case, I am given the average. So in place of the average, I'm going to sub in 125. The total scores are 110, 130, 128, 132, and a mystery amount of that 5th person, X, divided by 5. All right, so I'm going to do 2 things at once. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply both sides of my equation by 5 so that I can knock out that denominator and I don't have a fraction anymore. So when I take 5 times 125, I get 625. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm adding up all of those numbers right there. They add up to 500 plus X. There we go. And now I just have a regular algebraic equation. I'm going to subtract the 500 to the other side. 125 equals X. So that is a complete and total coincidence. Don't think that that mystery amount is always the answer. This is a coincidence. But that is how you find the mystery amount. And so the 5th person bowled a 125. I have this data and I would like to find the lower quartile, the median, and the upper quartile of this data set. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in order from small to large. All right, so I have a 1, and then a 5, 12, 16, 18, 20, 23, 25, 25, 28, 33, and 40. So now I want to put this in order from smallest to largest. So this is where I go and I play the cross-off game. I'm going to do a highlighter today so that we can still use and see the numbers. All right, so when I did that, I have a middle value right here. So this is where your median is located, which is the same thing as quartile 2. So in order to find this, so step 2, we're finding the median, which is Q2. If it's between two numbers like it is, you're going to find the average. So I'm taking 20 plus 23 divided by 2, and I got 21.5. 21.5 equals Q2 equals the median. All right, so step 3, oops, there we go, let's move it. I'm going to find Q1. So when I find Q1, I'm basically finding the median of this half right here. So Q1 is simply the median of the lower half. And so now we're going to play the cross-off game again. So in this case, since my median ended up being between two numbers, and I didn't, 20 is definitely in this lower half. So I'm going to include that when I cross it off. So I would cross off the 1 and the 20, the 5 and the 18, and now my median is somewhere between 12 and 16. So I'm going to take 12 plus 16 divided by 2, and I would get 14, which is Q1. So right there, I have a 14, and that is Q1. And hold on. And then step 4, I'm going to find Q3. I'm going to find the median of the upper half. So when I play the cross-off game, cross off the 23 and the 40, the 25 and the 33. And so it is located somewhere between 25 and 28. So I take 25 plus 28 divided by 2 is 26.5, which is Q3. So Q3 is right here at 26.5. And that is how you do it.